This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. When Trevor Milton paid a visit to Autoline After Hours, he said that Nikola would announce in a couple of months that a major automaker would build his pickup truck called the Badger. And in a bombshell of an announcement this morning, General Motors announced that it will build it. As part of the deal, Nikola will give GM 11% of its shares, worth $2 billion. The Badger will use GM's Ultium battery pack and its fuel cell system that GM calls Hydrotech. In fact, GM is going to engineer, homologate, and validate the Badger, as well as make it. And GM will provide fuel cells for Nikola's semi-trucks, the Tre, the Nikola 1, and the Nikola 2. It will also help Nikola engineer its electric off-road side-by-side called the NZT. Nikola says the deal will save it $5 billion over the next 10 years, while GM says it will earn $4 billion selling engineering services, parts, and EV credits. And one thing's for sure, the stock market loved the news. Nikola's stock shot up 31% in pre-market trading, while GM was up 6%. Meanwhile, Tesla's stock took a hit when it was not included on the S&P 500 index. Investors had bid up the stock in anticipation that it would be included because if it had, a lot of investment funds would have had to buy Tesla. Many funds invest in the S&P 500 index, and that means they have to buy the stocks in that index. They say that data is the new oil, and Mercedes is down with that. The electronic architecture in the new S-Class finally brings Benz into the digital age of connectivity and over-the-air updates. Ola Källenius, the CEO of parent company Daimler, says this opens up a, quote, new revenue and profit pool. Mercedes already has an app store and is eager to sell customers more content. Mr. Källenius clearly expects them to buy a lot more. He says Mercedes now earns over 100 million euros a year in data monetization and expects that to turn into billions of euros a year. For automakers, data monetization could be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Profit margins on data are significantly higher than profit margins on cars.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Hyundai and Kia are part of the same company, but there is a healthy rivalry between the two brands. Hyundai has always been the bigger of the two, but in the U.S. market, the gap is closing fast. Back in 2015, Hyundai sold nearly 136,000 more vehicles than Kia, but last year, the gap fell to only 95,000. And based on how things are going this year, it looks like Kia will only be 32,000 vehicles behind Hyundai. While the Hyundai Group must be pleased to see how well Kia is doing, we think the sales and marketing people at the Hyundai brand must be feeling the pressure. Kind of reminds us of the old rivalry between Buick and Oldsmobile. Both were proud to be part of General Motors, but were sworn enemies when it came to selling cars. Trying to get kids into a car to go somewhere can be a real pain in the butt. There's constant reminders to put on shoes, loading up bags filled for every conceivable scenario, and of course the inevitable, I have to go to the bathroom, which of course only comes after they're fully strapped in and you just got comfortable in your seat. And according to a new study from Spanish automaker SEAT, parents from Spain, Germany, and England have to lengthen their routines by an average of 20 minutes to accommodate for getting their kids into the car. In some cases, that's still not enough. 55% of parents in Spain admitted to being late for work at least once a week. On average, parents spend 96 hours a year getting their kids into the car. That's 4 days. But like most parents, I'll gladly take the extra time to make sure I have their favorite stuffed animal to avoid a meltdown, or to make sure that my kids are properly strapped into their seats. Electric vehicles cost more than their similarly sized ICE counterparts because the batteries are more expensive. That's why Hyundai partnered with SK Innovation to create a sustainable ecosystem that covers the entire life cycle of EV batteries. The two companies will collaborate on EV battery sales solutions and battery reuse and recycling. Batteries that are no longer usable in vehicles will be repurposed for energy storage systems. And recycling batteries will involve extracting valuable metals like lithium, nickel, and cobalt. And if the companies are successful in creating the ecosystem, it should help bring down the cost of batteries.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, your journey, our passion, and by Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering. Boost your game.
Say, is there something going on between Tesla and Volkswagen? That's the buzz after Elon Musk met with VW CEO Herbert Diess during a trip to Germany. The two drove around in an ID3 and had a chat. Diess revealed that Musk was critical of the car's available torque at higher speed, to which Diess replied, quote, "Yes, we are on the runway of an airport, but no need to take off. It's not a sports car." With that kind of rapport, it does sound like the reports are true that the two talk on the phone regularly. However, the Volkswagen CEO came out yesterday and said, there is no deal/cooperation in the making. But what do you think? Supposedly, their meeting lasted for a couple hours, and we don't think they spent so much time together talking about the weather. So, are they just pals, or is there more to this? Consumers are becoming more comfortable buying things online, and they increasingly want to have the same experience when purchasing a new car. That's why Volvo is looking to transition to sell more vehicles online. By 2025, it wants half of its global sales to be digital. To help make that happen, it is purchasing two dealer groups in Sweden to merge with its own dealerships. This will enable the company to pilot a new online/offline buying experience in its home market. But it also points out it will do this with the help of its dealer partners. But Volvo will have to come up with a different strategy for the U.S. because it's illegal for automakers to own their own dealer network. Wuling, a joint venture partner of GM's in China, is already seeing success with its micro-EV, the Hongguang Mini EV. While it only launched in July, the Mini EV is already the best-selling EV in China, with 15,000 units sold last month. Highlights include a top speed of 100 kilometers an hour or 62 miles per hour, a range of up to 170 kilometers or 105 miles, and a price between $4,200 and $5,700. The next best-selling EV is the Tesla Model 3 at close to 12,000 units sold, but the price likely helps explain the difference in sales. But that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you for watching.